and they think for themselves quite a bit. I think the Americans, I was an American prior to moving to Thailand, and I was more self-centered when I was living in the US and being an American, and thought of myself basically as the most important thing. And 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 didn't really care too much about um, other people, or didn't respect, have a lot of respect in terms of um, treating treating elder people, or my parents even. But as soon as I moved to Thailand, the mentality is so different. I mean, the children treat the parents like they're gods. I mean, it's because they really appreciate their parents, and they know and they understand the sacrifice that each parent goes through to raise the child, and feel indebted to their parents. And so they they feel it's their responsibility to take care of their parents for the rest of their lives, and to look after them and be close to the parents. In terms of being with other people, they're very caring, and are more more sensitive to other people's needs. I think that's probably what Papa was talking about in terms of the way the Americans and the Asian mentality is like. I think it's not so much, it's not that big of a difference, but there is a difference there.
Did you feel a culture clash growing up, with these Asian ideals and living in America? Like, for example, not really celebrating Christmas very much. And did you feel there was some kind of a clash?
I didn't feel there was any clash between the cultures, and I, I guess I'm not a very deep person. I didn't I didn't have any of these feelings like, I don't belong, and I'm Asian, and I should, we have these Asian ways of doing things, but at the same time people are celebrating Christmas left and right. I didn't feel like I didn't belong. I mean, um, Christmas isn't really a big deal for me, or any other holiday except my birthday. But no, I didn't have that feeling. I mean, I didn't think I was raised too Asian too. I think we were raised American, pretty much.
How do you feel like the Asian family is different from the American family?
Well, I think the Asian family is much closer to their parents, and are more sensitive to the parents' needs. I mean, the children are. Um, they also have very, very high goals in terms of, being successful in the careers and lives and everything else, and they stress that with their children quite a bit, sort of pressuring their kids to, to study hard and things like that. So I think that's probably when the um, Americans are more easygoing, and they don't have too much expectations of, of their children, and they don't expect their children to take care of them when they're old, for example. And so it's a different mentality and the way of upbringing.
What is life in Thailand like?
Life in Thailand. Um, I would never move back to the U.S. That's one thing. It's Life in Thailand is so unbelievably easy. It's just amazing, because the cost of service is so inexpensive. You have people who are, people from Laos, Burma, and Cambodia who come in and immigrant, and are in Thailand, and they're the servants, or the drivers, or, the restaurant workers. And so everybody's very service oriented, and so therefore um, you have the luxuries of a very wealthy person in the US without having to be very wealthy in Thailand. And so life is really, really good in Thailand. It's easy. I don't have to do anything. I haven't washed dishes for the last 13 years. I haven't done the laundry for the last 13 years. I haven't even made up my bed for the last 13 years. And so it's just life is just so easy in Thailand to live. It's not because I'm rich. I'm not rich at all. It's just the cost of getting people to do those stuff is it's so inexpensive.
Can you, earlier you were describing a day in your life. Can you do that again briefly?
A day in my life. Well, I don't want to be too extreme, but a day in a life. For example, on a Monday, I'd get up. I'd be woken up by. See, my grammar's so bad now. By one of my. I have a nanny for my dogs. I have 3 dogs that sleep with me and my partner, and the 3 Yorkshire Terriers, small ones about 2 or 3 kilos, which is about 6 or 7 pounds.
What are their names?
The names of my dogs are Lucky, which is the father, Kukik, which is the mother, and Taco, which is the son of the 2. But they actually had 3 puppies, and 2 of them died because I didn't have experience taking care of puppies, and they had what they called a fading puppy syndrome. They just faded away and stopped drinking milk, and they just died, and so. We were left with just one puppy.
So after the nanny comes in.
Okay, so where were we? So the nanny comes in. The nanny we have one nanny assigned to. I have 4 dogs actually. I have another large dog, a Dalmatian. His name is Mikey, but he lives outside the house because he's so large. But he has his own cage. So she takes care of the dog. So in the morning, she knocks on the door very quietly, and comes and takes the 3 puppies out to have, to go to the bathroom and then to have breakfast. And so I sort of get woken up by that knock. And then about half an hour later, another maid comes in and actually wakes me up and has, a cup of coffee or a glass of milk ready with some toast and brought to me to my room because that's my breakfast. And so I have my breakfast while I'm doing other things, getting ready, getting up, changing my clothes, doing things with myself, and it's funny every morning, my partner always nags me because I'm a very messy person. I think my entire family is messy. I think we're all messy people, and so compared to I guess Americans compared to Thais are very messy in general. Thai people are very, very clean. They never have clutter around at all, and they're not pack rats at all. And so they throw everything away that's not necessary, and they're very, very clean. And so I'm very messy, very, very messy, and so she nags and complains every morning about something that I've done, such as, misplacing something, or because we share everything. We share, makeup, we share our jewelry, watches that we wear. The only thing we don't really share is our clothes because I'm about 6 sizes larger than she is. We used to wear the same size, but I've just grown a lot more than she has. And so the things that we share, I always misplace, because every time I use it, I never put it back. And so, so I get up and she always complains for some reason. It's just something that that is usual for me. So I just, go on with my morning routine without being bothered of her nagging. And then when we're done dressing, I'm usually the first to go downstairs, and there's a doorbell that you can ring to get the maids. And so I ring the doorbell, and the maids know exactly what they need to do. Is they come up and they go and get my things, such as my briefcase, my purse, my suit jacket, for example, which I leave on my chair, so they know that the things that I want to take with me are the things that I leave on my chair in my room. And so they take my things down and take it to the car. And in the meantime, the driver arrives about an hour before an hour before we leave for the office, because he has to wash the car. He washes the car on a daily basis. He drives for us 6 days out of the 7 day. So he works 6 days out of the week. And so my car gets washed 6 out of the 7 days. And so the car is always clean. There's never any dust. or clutter in the car, and the outside is always washed. There's never any, any dirt on the car inside and out. And